What's up guys, welcome back to Railway Empire 2 and today we are going to be working on the trophy for no espresso, much depresso, and let me tell you guys, this is not an easy trophy, and I haven't currently got it, but I do have a very good idea on how to do this now, as I have had a go. So, South Italy make all goods available from Rome from 1910 onwards. So, we're going to be starting, you want a custom game, South Italy, Rome as a hometown. Starting year, 1910. Now, let's have a look at what's going to be the best here for us. All locomotives are 60% cheaper. We're not going to be focusing on revenue from passengers and mail too much anyway. And auctions are 30%, but we're not going to have any competitors in this, so maybe not ideal. Lower track costs 30%. That will be good, and an extra 10% revenue from freight and mail, that would be good. But tunnels are going to be a bit more expensive, but later on when we're actually going to be running tunnels, it probably is not going to be too much of an issue, so that might be a good one. Factory and rural businesses are upgraded 30% cheaper, and all new buildings are 50% cheaper within a city. That is good. We do want to take control of what's going to be in each area, but not... Yeah, the engineer, no, we're not going with him. The gangster can acquire factories from the cities without an auction. That's all well and good, but yeah, it's not what we want. So I'm going to go with the general for this one. And do you know what? I'm going to go with electrical rails. If you've got the DLC for electric trains, go with electric trains. Yes, it costs a little bit more to run the trains initially because the tracks are a little bit more expensive, but they don't need fuel or water, and are very attractive, and they don't break down very often. Luxury rail lines, that's up to you. Flexible production, that means you can switch between goods. Don't need that. So we're going to have no competitors. Regular tasks. Tasks don't necessarily matter, and you can't change that anything less than 100%. So let's go with that.
Greetings! This region is your new home, and you have no competitors. However, in order to obtain a good rating, you must complete the list of your tasks to the best of your ability.
So, you are more than welcome to complete the tasks as you see fit, if you feel that you want to. You don't necessarily have to. Transfer a total of 500 passengers at station with a hotel. Great, yeah. So this is going to be slow. I'm not saying this is going to be a fast trophy at all, and we're going to have to take it and work it right. That's the idea with this this trophy, is that we do it right, and we do it right first time. So there's going to be lots of cuts where I'm going to just let money build back up and stuff like that. So first off, let's get, of course, a train station here in Rome. That's where we're going to want our first station. And then we're also going to want one in here. Now, I'm also going to look at taking on businesses straight away. So we're going to go here with olive oil. Now, yes, it's going to cost us a little bit, and this is why I'm saying we're going to take it nice and easy and nice and slow, and just let things grow as it needs to, because we do want to be making the money. So we're going to very simply start off with 2 lines that run between Rome. We want it as cheap as possible. Now I've got electrification on here as well. So like I said, it is a little bit more expensive. Something's not right there. I don't want... Oh, it's not that much more expensive, that, to be fair. We'll run that. So to start with, it's just 2. Two tracks. And also, looking at it, Rome can do with... So at Rome, I'm going to put wood as well. Pallets. It doesn't need them quite yet, but I want to get that taken over like ASAP. And then we're going to get a connection bonus for Cicciavecchia, if that's how you pronounce it. And we're going to get a bonus for this farm. And we're going to get a bonus for Latina. So we're going to get these connected. And what you'll see is I'm going to put all of the stations the same way, and I'm also going to put the stations for these 3 cities at the south of the city, and that being so that we can put stations at the north of the city too. This one's not too much of an issue. And again, we're just going to run the 2 lines all the way through. Eventually, we're going to have more lines running through, because what we're going to do is we're going to have one that is freight between the cities, one that is express through the cities, and then one that is going to provide goods for a warehouse. We will be working on that as well, and we're going to be using multiple warehouses in different locations. So what we're going to be doing is warehouse here at the Mariachi station. We're also going to do another warehouse here at the Benditti farm, and then we're going to do a couple of open warehouses. We're going to put them around here, so we're probably going to run 3 warehouses here, and you'll see why later. For now, it's all about getting the base trains running, and what we're going to do is we're going to put a maintenance depot here at 80% and transfer to all. Just going to do that one for now. So let's get a new rail line, and it can be just mixed for now, just to start getting goods moving between the 3 cities. And we'll just put a couple of trains, and we want electric, and that will do. So that will start that. Then we're going to look at this becoming a warehouse. We're going to run this. We'll run both to the warehouse, and it will also run to Cicciavecchia, but we will adjust the lines on these, because we're going to run it through the lines that we've currently got, because at the minute, of course, we're only running very small amount of lines. Let's check our research here, just see if there's anything early that's missed that's a bonus to us. What's that? The ticket increase, yeah. Yeah, increase on rail revenue. Maintenance posts. Are we going to use maintenance posts? Probably not for now. Reduce track construction. That's a great start there, guys. So, we can press play and let them bonuses happen. So let's press play. Now, we're not worried about whether the cities are growing or not currently, because the cities will grow. What we're doing here is very meticulous and correct jobs that we want to be doing. We want to be making sure that everything we're doing is right, and it's right for sort of like first time. Apart from stuff like this, where we're going to be, this is going to have to, you know, we can do it initially to get started, and then it will change as and when. I'm just going to see what the actual purchase cost of this farm is. So we haven't got enough to buy that, but let me tell you, we've got enough to buy. We should have enough to buy that. We could buy that, and buying that would probably benefit us as well, but that's a little bit expensive too. That would be worth for us to buy later. You've got to remember that prices will fluctuate as and when. So like I said, this for now is going to be just as it kind of is. Let's get rid of that point there. And we will adjust these tracks a little bit later. Make sure your tracks are all running in the same way. And what we're going to do is run a new rail line from there to there, because of course we want a constant supply of olives going there. Apparently it's got long periods of track. Oh, it has. Yes, we've not done that right. Okay. That's fine. And then here we're going to be putting, we're going to put a maintenance depot, and we're also going to put a warehouse. And in that warehouse for now we'll put olives. And we'll run that from there to there. Now we'll probably go, oh, you don't need a train at the minute, that's fine. We'll do one from there to Rome. And again, it will probably not have any goods going. Oh, it will. It's already going to take veg. So we're going to get the bonus for that as well. So that's going to give us a nice bit of money, which means we can immediately start setting up our next bits. Now, what we are going to be doing, guys, is running the goods that would need to be supplied directly into the cities. So, like I said, the olives here we're going to run directly to Cicciavecchia, because we want them to have a constant supply. When it comes to wheat, we'll probably run a single wheat train that goes to Rome. And certainly wood will be run directly into Rome. But we're also going to be looking at running trains through these cities as well, into second stations in these cities, because what we need to be doing is making sure we are not we're not mixing up the train lines, and that we are we've got to do the right thing here, guys. We've got to work it right. So what we're going to do next is a second train station here in Rome. And what we're going to do here in this second station in Rome is Warehouse 1. So this one's going to be called Warehouse 1. We're going to change that now, so we don't get confused. Warehouse 1. We're going to have Warehouse 2 up here, and Warehouse 1 will have its own line, and it will run to Rome, but it will also have a second line that will run through Rome to Cicciavecchia, however you pronounce it. We're also then going to have the second station. Why is that wonky? I don't like it wonky like that. I know the first one's a little bit wonky, but you've got to... Right. Happier with that. And what we're going to be doing here is 328. Let's purchase that, because that's going to be a money maker for us, definitely. Hold on. We need to turn that the other way, sorry. Doing it right first time and all that stuff. So we want to be coming in. And we want to go in onto this line on Rome. That's a bit of a tight corner, isn't it? So we're going to run 2 lines for that. It might be a little bit excessive at the minute. And then we can get a new rail line that goes from there to Rome 2. Now what we will do is add a maintenance depot at Rome 2. Or do we? Yeah, we'll add a maintenance depot at Rome 2. We're going to change Rome 2 to Rome something else. Rome goods. That will do. And then this is going to be our warehouse. And what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be running our first... We don't want to be spending excess money on tunnels and bridges if we don't need to. So we want that to be running in like that. And this is going to be pure goods to Rome and Rome only. With potentially just an extra line running from here to the warehouse. So we want at least 1 train running for now. Like I said, don't worry necessarily about the fact that the cities may or may not be growing. Now, for now, what we're going to do is we're going to run that into there, but that's also going to open up. So it's got dedicated lines because Rome will take a lot of wood. So we're going to put here. We'll put another maintenance depot, and we'll put a warehouse, and in that warehouse at least wood for now. So we do a new rail line from there to there. But what we're going to do here at this warehouse is make sure that the train that comes from Rome doesn't take any wood. And that, for that reason, that train will constantly run wood into Rome on its own, and then that one's not going to get clogged up with the train running to there from the warehouse. We're going to be adding other goods to the warehouse, as you can probably imagine. So at the minute, yes, you can see that that's not running anything, and this is fine. This is absolutely fine. It's not an issue. What we might find is that if we put a train from there to there, that might just generate enough interest as well for the olives to come. It might not. Well, let's just see what happens. Yeah, the olives are already on the way now. Oh no, that's on the way to Cicciavecchia. Now, is this waiting on goods, as in waiting for them to be generated? Yes, it is. So we might just have to delete that train again for now. Until we're running constantly through. So like I said, guys, this is a very, very slow process. We just need the money to keep generating and stuff like that. Let's go back to research. See what that one is. Yeah, that will do. Increase profit by 7% for all factories. That's something very nice. That's something we potentially could purchase if we get rid of that train for now. And we could purchase this once that demand drops to 0. We've already got a broken down train. They're not moving very many goods at the minute. How's our olive production going? Very slow at the minute, olive production. The demand's obviously not there, or we're not getting it out quick enough. So maybe we could increase that to 3 trains and just see if that helps. There we go. We are moving olive oil now. Like I said, very, very slow, guys. You're just going to have to kind of deal with it. So, next job. It seems probably a little bit of overkill, but we are going to get another station here as well. And this is because I want to make sure that our lines are staying clear constantly, guys. I don't want the hassle of fixing it a little bit later on. So what we're going to be doing here is we need to look at the fact that when we put a new warehouse over here to begin with, it's going to run through Latina, through Rome. So we're going to have 4 lines running here through Rome, and it's going to run down to here as well. So when we've got we need to think about the lines that we're going to use here in Cicciavecchia. So if we want to be running warehouse lines from that other warehouse, we want to have our lines running from this one as cheap as possible to there, like that. So it's not obviously going to be cheap. Let's just see if that goes down anymore. We can always take out a bond as well, you know. So let's do that and start. Getting it right. And then the next job will be to run this all the way up to the terminal here, like that. And then we're going to put 4 gridirons there, and that just allows the trains to come in at the station where they feel the need to, instead of overcrowding. But down at this station, we're not. We're going to just run it through there. So the idea being that the train to Rome will sit on this track and that track only. And then we're going to do a new rail line that goes from this warehouse, and it's going to go down this line and this line only all the way to Cicciavecchia. And that will take wood and wheat. And we'll just make sure that our track lines are right. This side. There we go. So that one's running to Rome, and that one's running down there. And that way, Rome's staying clear by itself, and Cicciavecchia is also staying clear by itself. And that's the idea. That's what we need to be doing. Nice, clean lines that are not going to overcrowd as we go. And we're also going to do the same in Latina too. And that one we're going to run slightly different. We're going to run it that way. Just seem a little bit excessive, I get that, but like I said, the idea will be here to make sure that we are keeping lines clear. I don't want to be messing about later. And we'll call that one Latina Goods 2. Right. So guys, we're just going to let money grow a minute, and then we will come back. Okay, so we're up to about 700,000. The next sort of things we need to do is start increasing this to 4 lines through here. And then we also need to get our new tracks running to Latina. Now what we're going to do is run a little bit further out. With the intention that we can run obviously gridirons in to make it easier for goods to arrive as well. Hold on, which side have we done that? That's the bottom side, so we need to be running that in like that. I want it a bit straighter than that though. Quite an expensive line, of course. But hey, what isn't at the minute in this game? But that will allow us to run goods directly into Latina. Keep that constant supply without blocking up as well. And then of course what we need to get is piggies running to Latina 2. But that's going to be awkward in the sense that we want to be making sure that we can run other goods through that station into the thingy as well. So we need to be looking at putting the station that sort of side, and then we can run that. Oh, that's not going to be cheap, is it? Do we really want to run it down the side of the mountain like that? We might have to, just for the sake of money. We might have to run it down here and around, which is fine. It's a little bit of a longer journey, but probably a hell of a lot cheaper than the alternative, and that actually will help us with the gridirons as well. So the idea is that will be a goods line into Latina fully, so that is absolutely fine to run the pigs in via that, when we can afford it, of course. And this is why I'm saying, guys, this is a very slow but meticulous job. This is not a quick, oh, bang, 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 get it done. Want to do it right, first time. So we're going to call this one a warehouse 2 as well, just so we know where the trains are coming from and going to. And that's growing quite quickly. So grapes. So once that reaches 40,000, we're going to want to look at the next sort of business going there as well. Same for Latina. We're also going to be running grapes in. So another 224 for that one. And then eventually we're going to be wanting, of course, trains running from here. So 144,000 that's dropped to. That's going to be worth to us to buy as well. Definitely. Oh, maintenance post, not using maintenance post at the minute. So I'm not purchasing that. New locomotives by 5%. Accelerates processing of all wagons. Reliability, yep, good stuff. They're running pretty well now, them 3 trains, but eventually we're going to split it so that it's goods and express. So we'll just save up a little bit more money. Okay, so Latina's now grown, and that does pose a little bit of a problem because we do want to take control and we want to have wine here. Now I'm hoping that it will produce wine itself. we haven't got a great deal of money, and I don't think I can take another bond at the minute. It's so difficult, this trophy. So I think the first thing to do will be to get wine being produced here. That's got to be one of the first things to do. Rome's growing as well, and that's also growing as well, and we also need to be looking at the fact that that's going to need a business as well. So let's go with wine. Let's bite the bullet and do it. And then hopefully we can either take out another bond and we can purchase another business here. I think potentially that's making us a profit now. It is. Not a lot, but it's making us a profit. And we are producing wine. Because grapes will get delivered either way. It'll just be done by horse and cart. I wonder if we can actually see the horse and carts going along the road. No, not really. You can see them obviously in the town. That's a car. Where have they got cars from? So let's not necessarily do that. We can adjust that in a moment. Let's for now get just enough so that we can get a train running. We get a train running from there. That's extra money. And then obviously we've got then goods running a lot better through the city. Right, that's grown now as well. So what we need here is we need a weaving mill, which is 396. Oh, we can take a bond. Look at that. Let's do that and get a weaving mill started there. So let's purchase that. And I wonder how much this is now, because I think this is going to be too much out of our league. So the next task here, guys, will be to let's get a better run of goods moving between these cities now. It's not going to be cheap, of course. Unfortunately, but this will allow us now to have yet more goods running. And of course, more goods running means more, more money. So let's see where the trains that have decided to run. So they've decided to run right down the middle. Fantastic. Yes, because that's what we want. So for now, we put a new rail line that goes from there, and we just run it down this side for now to Latina. as soon as we can afford a train, we will. And then, of course, what we'll want to get that reconnected back up as well. It's working, just very slowly. Okay, right, good stuff. Now, next task, of course, will be to reconnect this olives. So as soon as that money starts coming through again, that is our next job. And we've now got a much better setup. And I think this will change at least once more, guys. Slowly, guys. Slowly, unfortunately. It costs us less to do this side, so it's not going to cost hardly anything to get that train rerunning. And now what you should find, of course, is that the olives will now run to the warehouse because they will be needed by both Latina and Rome at the same time now. So the next commodity here will be grappa, and the next one over here will be dresses, and that should really give us a good boost. We're going to then get this connected here, this train station, so we can start getting fabrics made. We also need to be getting this connected via this line as well, so it's just all slowly working. And then also we need to get grapes connected. We'll go directly into Latina on the same line with grapes. That's not an issue, but we'll also go via Could we just put maybe a hotel here? I don't know. Is it worth it? Is it worth it working on the hotel? Who cares? We're not focused on that right now. What we're actually focused on is doing what's right for us. So, next job. I'm hoping we can get this directly connected into that second line, which we can, because that's the one goes to Chechvia, or whatever its name is. Chechevice. And quite happily just go like that for now. So it's only going to temporarily block up our rail line too. What's going on here? Have we got enough? We haven't hardly got any wood in there. We are producing enough wood. There we go. Beautiful. Slowly, slowly, guys, we are getting there. And eventually you'll find money will just absolutely roll in. So the next thing will be grapes. And we also do need to get this other line here connected down so that we can run our stuff through properly without blocking up the lines. And then we can focus on increasing the amount of trains going between. And then what I want to do is have a third line that runs here, guys, because the third line will be the one directly from the warehouse. We're going to have one that's going to be just running express, one that we're just running goods between the cities, keeping that nice and clear, and then one that will just be running warehouse goods. And that warehouse will also, we're probably going to have milk coming from up here, so that's going to run through and supply warehouse one with milk as well. It's just waiting and playing the long game, guys. It will work though, definitely will work. That's what we've got here. So let's focus on grapes next. Grapes can come in on the same line. It's a little bit expensive at the minute. So what we'll probably do is wait for some more money to build up. So with a bit more money now saved, we can get that running. And the reason I've put it on the second line, third and fourth line here, guys, is so that we can then put the first two lines go in to the other warehouse. And let's just make sure that we are setting up our tracks properly. Because eventually, I mean, I think we're going to be probably having a lot more trains running through there. So currently we need to finish this line here to the pigs. We need to finish this line here to Chechvia. And we are looking pretty good for now. We then want to be expanding up to the oranges and fruit and veg up here. And to the I think that is like white marble. We can then probably run Incernia in as well, just to help that grow a little bit. This is probably where we're going to have some sort of business. I want to have a look at how much that's going to cost, because that and that, when we start making steel, are going to be quite important. What's that? Quality saboteurs, not interested in saboteurs. We've got no thingy. Maintenance time is reduced by 5%. Bridges, yeah, that'll do. Auction, we're not auctioning anything in this one. That's not a priority. Now what we are going to do here is put a maintenance depot there. So we've got a lot of trains coming in now with no option to be supplied. We're starting to see wooden pallets moving now as well. So that again, it generates us more money. We are starting to now see the return on what we've purchased. Let's keep the game running and see how much it's going to cost us to get this running next. 167, that's not bad, and 167 again. So I think we purchase that, and then we can work on the next bit. See what lines that's going to run down. Of course it is. So let's edit that. Come on, move. Thank you. Waypoint like that, and then like that. We want that to stay on that line all the way. Oh, it's not. What is going on here? Right, I'll tell you what, let's delete that train. Let's delete that rail line. Let's go, now that we've got the option of being able to put express and goods, let's do that. Let's put an express train and a goods train. Let's have it running right. On the right tracks. So that one's going to be express. So let's get 2 trains running express, and I think we could probably just do 2 trains running goods. It might be 3 trains. We'll see how it goes. It can stay on this one for now, and then we can focus on moving the warehouse line after. So that goes to Latina, that's going to stay on that line, no issue. Back to Rome, back on that line, and let's put 2 trains freight and see how that runs. Beautiful. And then we'll also run a new one from Warehouse 1 to Chechnya. Right, but what we don't want here is we don't want olives being moved. And that is because we're going to run olives direct. The only problem is, of course, trains are sitting here waiting for goods. Is that because we're not supplying enough goods? Oh, definitely got enough olives on the go. Oh, look at that! All the trains are dispatched at the same time. Beautiful. Costa Terminal. Costa Terminal. Oh, it's had a small breakdown. That's fine. So that's actually moving pasta and wood. And this will open up to 6 lanes a little bit later. So you know, that will keep the traffic flow even better for us. Latina's now grown again. Rome's up to 75,000. What we need to do now, guys, is focus on finishing our line here, so that we can now start running grapes into the warehouse. That's very simply because what we're going to do is run this like this. And into that line. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. That's how I want it. Okay. So what will happen there is that will run through there. No, I've done that wrong. So, although we don't need a supply tower, we'll do that. In like that. And then we will run a new rail line, come out of there and run up the side like that, guys, so that we can run goods in via that line without blocking up the lines again. And that's going to run all the way to there. We just need 96 to finish that. And then we can get extra goods running. And then we allow 4 tracks there like that. So we've now got 4 tracks that side, 4 tracks that side. Make sure that we add grapes to this warehouse. We're at minus 56. That's because the loans come out. We can't afford that. So as soon as we get the opportunity now, we're going to put a couple of trains running from Palumbo Rest to Warehouse 2, and then you'll start seeing grapes, stuff being taken to Rome and Chechnya. We're not going to be letting the grapes run from the Warehouse 2 to Latina though, because we've got a direct line from that. So that is the idea there, that we just keep that coming in without issue. Let's put 2 trains on that. And just see what line they're coming in on. Yeah, that's good. And then what we make sure that we do our train to Latina. It takes no grapes. So it always gets a supply of wheat, and it always gets a supply of wood, and it will always get grapes direct, and then the rest of the trains will So we might have to up the trains to 2 to row now. So that it's not just constantly taking wheat. We could, in theory, put one that just takes wheat constantly, but we do want it to be supplied with other goods as well. So that is the process. We'll see how it works. And then we need to be looking at the fact that we've got oranges up here. That's going to be a very expensive line, guys. So that's not something we need to worry about just yet. But we've got the main infrastructure in now. The only other thing I want to be doing is put in the third line that runs all the way through. Just so that that is in place. Once that's in place, we can then look at extending up to this milk. And then towards Naples. Task-wise, what have we done? Pretty much nothing. Really not necessarily interested in completing these olives. They want me to purchase olives. Wow. Well, that's not too bad. This would be far too expensive now. This would be in the millions now. Oh, not quite yet. So let's have a look at how olive oil is being produced now. Do we need to up that to 2 trains? That might be worth upgrading to 2 trains now. So it's always got a constant supply of olives. Do we need to look at the goods trains? Have we got enough? Are they running? Are they running full? So can we increase that to maybe 4 and see what happens with that? Now, as you've probably noticed, I've not put anything here. I don't want any maintenance depots in Rome. So with this base setup here, and we are now making money, guys, I think that is a cracking place to end part 1. So that we can move forward in part 2. So join me in part 2 where we carry on with this trophy. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Take care. Bye bye.